Welcome to the Fly Route Pod. Whether it's your first time listening to any of our videos or you're a return listener, do us a favor. Please subscribe and hit that notification bell so you don't miss any of our content.
The Fly Route Pod. The Fly Route Pod. The Fly Route Pod.
Y'all, it's Tony Playboy.
All right. We are going to get into our final division predictions for the AFC East. And as I've been doing as of late, I'm going to bring in a guest, a fan of one of the teams in the division, to help me break down how things are going to shake out. And y'all already know who he is. He was on an episode just a couple of weeks ago. BJ Burnin Husky, come through. How is it going, my guy?
You already know what it is, man. What's up, Playboy?
Look, we about to get into it. Because
I'm here.
I want to talk to AFC.
I came for war. You see the shirt? I came for war,
you
bro.
You came for war. Okay.
I brought back some John Singleton on you today.
Okay, I'm with you. So I want to start at your pressure point. So we're going to start with the Dolphins.
Okay.
We're going to start with the Dolphins. So I'm going to ask you how you think these Dolphins are going to fare this season.
I'll start by saying this. This is the most exciting season that I've had as a Dolphin fan as far as anticipation is concerned since the year that Ricky Williams retired the night before training camp started. Called Dave Weinstein from the airport and said he was on his way to Asia and he's retiring from the NFL because he already knew that he had just failed his third, because they don't report your first or your second. You have to go to rehab for that, but they report your third to the press. So that was the third time he had been caught since he had been in the NFL. And if people remember, coming off of that, that season, he was coming off of 1,800 yards and 1,500 yards, 21 touchdowns one year and 19 or 17 touchdowns the following year. And Miami, Chris Chambers was coming into form. That defense still has Surtain, Madison, Zach Thomas, Jason Taylor. People thought that year, it was like, hey, it was like, yo, watch Miami this year. They got Ricky. This is going to be Ricky's third year there now. It was a lot of anticipation for me for that season. So
that's a lot of hype.
Fast forward to this year, I have not been as excited as I have been since that year until this year for this team, because I love the makeup of it. I love what I see from the players. I love what I see from the coaches. I don't like my favorite team to talk a lot. I like my favorite team to be like what the Patriots were the last 20 years. Don't tell you much. Players give you the same bland answers. Same with the coaching staff. It's not about us. Team. Yeah, people want their money. We'll figure all that out. We'll pay who needs to be paid. But for the
y'all paid who needs to be paid,
right?
He had 4 years left on that bitch.
Quick sidebar. Did I not tell you to get it done? And he wasn't going anywhere.
True.
And he wasn't going nowhere because it's you can't let that type of talent walk out the door. But bruh, relax. We'll take care of it. You did just sign the highest deal in the league a year and a half ago. Other players have signed after you. That's just the way it goes. But it's the way things set up, the way that team has been constructed, the way Greer and the way Flores have handled their business with that Dolphins team. There's one part of this team that I really zero in on that I don't hear a lot of people talking about, because it's Tua, and Waddle, because those should be the two pieces this year that people think the difference between the Dolphins being 9-8 and the Dolphins being 12-5, 13-4. Because Waddle has that type of breakaway speed, but I want to believe in him at Alabama because I don't like his route running, but that can improve. And the ankle injury, the foot injury scares me. As a fan, it scares me because you've already been hurt. Same with Tua.
Stop dancing. What? How many wins?
I'm not dancing. I'm getting to it, bro. You gotta let me do. Come on, man. You gotta let Big Vanilla do it the way I do it.
9-13. That's a range. Come on.
No. I said 9-13. No. I said
9 to 13 wins is what I'm saying.
Yeah,
that's a large range. Where we at?
Large range because so I'll explain it like this: the defense is a top 10 defense. They're good for 7 wins. Defense and special teams will get us 7 wins, just like it did last year. Our offense at Tua really only got and Fitz really only got us 3 wins. We had turnovers, led the league in interceptions, third in the league in sacks. We had a turnover for 13 straight games where we led the turnover battle with the opposing team. That's always going to get you wins. one of the league's best kickers, one of the league's best punter as far as average yards per punt per net last year. So we're flipping the field and we're putting that defense on the field in comfortable range where we can get 3 and out. So they drive a little bit, but defense stops, got to punt it back to the offense. So that part of it, those are 7 wins alone. Tua will either get us 2 more or Tua can get us 5 or 6 more. It all depends on what these other weapons are going to do. We missed Will Fuller opening Sunday. He's suspended. Jalen Waddle, already explained him. Myles Gaskin, Brown, the 2 running backs I like. Here's where I really want to go.
Running backs? You like the running backs?
Yeah. Let me just tell you why, though. I'm going to key on the offensive line. And a lot of people aren't talking about, you can go to Cameron Wolfe, you could go to Armin Segundo. No one's talking about the offensive line unless one of the guys get blown up in practice or in joint practice with the Bears like they did today. It's the only time they bring them up. But I look at this line, Austin Jackson, Solomon Achille, Robin Hunt, Jesse Davis. Second year, 5th year. It's a young offensive line. But I love the size, 6'5", 325, 6'5", 335, 6'6", 327, 6'6", 318. If this line can protect and can open up holes, Myles Gaskin last year, 1.7 yards before contact. So he's not even getting 2 yards before he's hit that led the league last year. But he also 10.6% of his runs were missed or broken tackles. That was tied for 11th in the league. So even though he takes contact, he still was 11th in the league as far as breaking and eluding tackles. So imagine if he's not touched before 3 or 4 yards. Now he's breaking and eluding tackles.
I mean, y'all ain't Cleveland, chill. Huh? Y'all ain't Cleveland, chill.
No. Well, I mean, the NFL flips quick, homie. And it's all about...
Look, your O-line ain't Cleveland's O-line. That's all I'm saying. It's 3-4 yards?
No, I didn't say our line. Are you hearing me?
I'm hearing you.
Second and a 5th year. It's a young line, but the talent is there. It's going to depend on whether preseason helps. There was no offseason last year. There was no preseason last year. So basically, we started 3 rookies opening day, and they never had a game NFL snap in their entire lives.
Okay, that's a good argument.
That's a tall order with a rookie quarterback. It's a tall order. So
okay.
Running holes need to open up. Rush offense last year was a putrid, 28th in the league. That's got to come up. Overall offense was 21st. If the line holds up, we could talk Tua. You could talk all these other players. It's not gonna matter. If the line does not hold up, Tua 9 to 10 wins because Tua won't be able to be himself. But if that line is ready to play this year, yes, I like Gaskins. I loved him at Washington. Yes, I like Malcolm Brown. Malcolm Brown is 5.2 yards a carry as a backup out here in Los Angeles, where I see every Rams game because they put so you give him the ball. If you give him holes as a backup, he's a 5.2 yard guy. So there's your what 6 feet, 225, 230. There's your bell count on the goal line. Flores is from the Belichick tree. It looks pretty with Brady, but people have to remember most of their, if not all their Super Bowl years, do people remember Corey Dillon? Do people remember Sonny Michel? Do people remember these running backs, James White, that they've been able to use and have in their Super Bowl years? People forget these backs of LeGarrette Blount, 1,500 yards? What?
Yo, LeGarrette Blount went nuts those back-to-back seasons.
Thank you. You know why, though? Because the offensive line. The offensive line opened holes. He was done in the league. Nobody wanted a piece of him. He goes to New England, he runs for 1,500 yards in his first year there. So that's what I mean by the line. If the line can hold up, this offense is explosive. You talk about the receivers, you talk about the speed. Fuller, Waddle, Grant. With possession tight end like Gesicki and a possession receiver out on the perimeter like Devontae Parker. And I haven't even gotten to Preston Williams and Allen Hurns. One of them getting cut. So they're not going to carry 7. One of them getting cut. So it's a crowded receiver room. So if I had to make it, I like 12 and 5, and I'll stick hard with that.
12 and 5.
Yes, because I love the schedule, number one. Our division's not tough. We got the Patriots. They'll never be the same again. We got the bum-ass Jets, and I call them the bum-ass Jets because they're the bum-ass Jets, and they've always been the bum-ass Jets to me, and I'll always call them the bum-ass Jets. The Bills are the only competition in that division.
Okay.
We played the NFC South. The Saints are under 500 team. Carolina's an under 500 team. We don't know what Atlanta's going to be, and we know there's the Bucks.
I'm with you. So I'm going to be honest with you. I expected you to be higher on the Dolphins than I, but that makes sense. You're making a lot of good arguments, though. Look, I had y'all going 9-8. So when you were like 9 to 13, I was like, I'm with you on the 9. I do think you all don't have a hard schedule, but you all have some, like, I think you all was split with the Pats this year. You play the Pats twice. I don't think you'll beat them twice. I feel like week 1, the Pats will come into y'all played them week 1. I feel like week 1
in New England for the second year in a row.
Yes, and I feel like they're going to be more prepared for that game, and I feel like they're going to beat y'all once. Now, on the flip side, I do feel like y'all also play them at the very end of the season at home, and there's just something about those late game games versus the Patriots in Miami that somehow things just can never go New England's way. So I'm like, I think y'all will split with the Patriots, but I do think the Patriots are really legit. I think y'all will lose twice to the Bills. Look. I mean, you think the Bills are competition for you all. You all play the Bucks. I feel like that's another one that you all probably won't be able to win. Y'all got the Ravens as well. I got the Ravens. And I think...
Where's that Ravens game at?
That Ravens game is actually in Miami. In Miami, Thursday night football.
That was rhetorical. I already know. I know the schedule by heart.
Okay. If it
was in Baltimore, I would say okay. But once again, that is a top 10 defense we'll field this year. And we have a guy with the defense.
And the Ravens are a top 5 defense that will be fielded this year.
Say it again? The
Ravens are a top 5 defense that will be fielded this year.
That's fine. So it's a low scoring affair. I don't mind that. I just can't we get the W.
In a ground and pound, low scoring affair, I generally like the Ravens.
Yeah, we create turnover. Lamar's gonna give it up. And I like Lamar. But against a defense like us, we'll get him to throw one. He'll throw one to us.
Look, it is possible. But here's what I'm going to say. I think that then y'all got some games. The Titans and the Colts, I think, will give y'all some trouble. Those are some games that I think are possible for you to lose. You're playing at the Titans, so that is not particularly helpful for you all. So you're neither here nor there. And I think there's a chance that, there's one other game there that you all might drop. But to be fair, I think that this Dolphins team is very good. If this Dolphins team won 10 games, I wouldn't be surprised. But if this Dolphins team won 12 games, I would be a little shocked. Okay, I'm just going to be honest with you.
What was our record last year?
Did y'all win 10 games or 9?
10-6. Okay,
10 games. Yeah, 10 games.
Let me break this down for you. So 10-6.
Okay.
We've completely butt F the Denver game. We should have went out to Denver and won the game. It's a 10-7 game, and we're playing like you know what. Tua got benched that game. Everybody's so-called savior, Fitzpatrick, came in and couldn't do shit neither. It was just one of them days. So we shouldn't have lost. Listen, if Denver was that good
everybody
on defense,
has a game like that every year.
If Denver was that good on defense, their top 10 pick they just chose this year would not have been a defensive back.
Everybody has a game every year that they lose that they probably should not lose. Like the Bears beating the Bucks last year, right? I want to say
Tom
the
Brady
Raiders
had a brain fart on the line. I have no idea.
Everybody has a game.
What he was thinking.
Yeah, I'm telling you, everybody has a game. Like I think that y'all's game this year, like that, might be the Panthers. That's the game that you should not lose. That somehow you end up kind of going in there and giving up the bag at.
Okay.
There's this game, and because the Panthers are competitive. Like y'all make a mistake.
Every game that we possibly are going to lose. And I have not once heard you say anything about any possible game that we're going to win. So who are we beating? If we're losing
every other team,
my squad.
We're going to move on to the Patriots, which I was shocked when you said the Patriots will never be the same, which I agree because they don't have Tom Brady. But it sounds like you're saying the Patriots are going to be terrible this year.
I mean, not terrible. They don't have a quarterback. And I love anybody that's followed me, anybody that's listened to me, any fan of mine, family, friends, everybody knows how I feel about Cam Newton. But at the end of the day, I still got to be a professional analyst and just call it the way I see it. I want Cam to be what he once was. He just can't be. And I think Matt Jones is a bust. I think him and Wilson, every year, there's always 2 quarterbacks out of the quarterback class that just don't pan out. There's always 2. Fields is legit. They are considering starting Lance in San Francisco. That's how well he's looked through training camp. I think they'll start Garoppolo just because it just might be the safe thing to do to keep harmony for right now. That's Lance's team. I said on draft day he needs to start. So I've never looked at Garoppolo as a starter. So him, I think Trevor's the real deal. He's been the real deal since he was a junior in high school, and I saw him as a junior in high school. So the 2 quarterbacks left out would be Zach Wilson, too small, to just guy BYU played nobody. You know, trying to be Pat Mahomes. That's not going to work out
Jets.
there.
It's just quintessential Jets.
No. The history is there. Mark Sanchez, number 5. Sam Darnold, top 5. This guy, they don't know how to get an early quarterback.
That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying.
Oh,
it's the Jets.
I thought you were saying I was being biased.
No, I'm saying like it's the Jets. Like I'm with you. I'm with you. The likelihood of him being a bust is very high.
So the other quarterback I look at is going to be Matt Jones. I say this about Bama quarterbacks, and I've backed this up all the way even with Jalen Hurts and even with Tua that plays for my Dolphins. I've told people I don't believe in Tua yet. Tua got to take me to a bowl. He ain't got to win it, but I got to have a Super Bowl Sunday in my house watching my Dolphins. If this supposed to be the dude, you got to take me there. It's just like in basketball and watching Cade Cunningham as a Pistons fan. I told somebody, bro, I need you to be Grant Hill with Kobe results. That's how hard I'm being right now on anybody that's playing for my squads. So when I look at Matt Jones at Alabama, everybody's open. At Alabama, everybody's turning their hand into a Heisman candidate running back. Tell me the ones that got to the league and have been successful. Tell me the Nick Saban quarterback. And I'll let you go all the way back to Michigan State. It's not hard to play quarterback at Alabama if you're a college quarterback. Now, I can't go do it. I would suck at it. I know that. But if you're a college 5-star, 4-star recruit, it's not hard to go to Alabama, man, and be able to step in. You can make throws to open guys. You can hand to Najee Harris, Trent Richardson, Derrick Henry. I mean,
look, I'm with you.
Mark Ingram.
I'm with you. I think the Patriots are actually going to do relatively well this year. I think they've been consistently well coached. I think that for the most part, how do I want to say this? Yes, they were not good last year, but they weren't terrible, dude. Like they went what? 2 games under 500?
Their rush defense was almost last in the league. They got ran all over. That's terrible.
They had the largest amount of opt-outs in the league. Those players come back, which is actually a good place to start, right? They had the largest amount of opt-outs in the league. Those players come back.
Well, not all of them. McCourty's the starting free safety in Miami right now, so not all of them come back.
Almost all of them. Almost all of them came back, but I think they have the better of the 2 McCourty brothers, so I'm just going to be honest. So you agree? All right.
No. I'm shaking my head at you because I'm like, why didn't we just make this a me versus you Dolphins segment?
And
you ain't said nothing. You ain't said nothing positive now. And we're in the Patriots like, yeah, they have the better of the McCourty, bro. I mean, I'm just joshing with you, but it's
look,
funny.
I'm with you. I'm with you. I actually am not anti. I don't think I'm anti-Dolphins. I said 9 wins is where I got them at. That's a winning record. I said 10. I wouldn't be surprised at. That's not negative.
So what did the Patriots end up?
I have the Patriots at 11-6, and that is what you're not gonna like. Yes, indeed. And that's what you're not going to like. I think they have a fantastic defense. It's going to be even better than last year, especially now that they got people back. They got Kyle Van Noy back from you all, right?
And you know why they got him back from us?
Back. Y'all didn't want to pay that price.
No, it's not that. He can't play at that level no more. He can't play at that level. And Miami saw it quickly. And like the protege from New England that's down there, he cut his losses early before it was too late.
Look, they get Dante Hightower back. I think that's huge.
I love him.
Look, I think they have a great defense. I think they've upgraded some of their skill positions in tight end, Hunter Henry, Jonnu Smith. We saw them get a couple receivers here. None of them are A guys, but the overall talent on this roster is significantly better than last year. Like, worlds better. And they were like, what, 2 games from being over 500? And actually having a massive, surprising season in most people. They had a couple games they lost by like 1 possession, 1 play at the very end. I think this is a team that's going to be better than last year. I think that they'll lose that game to the Dolphins at the very end. Like, that's just what they're going to do. I think they'll lose to the Browns, the Titans, the Bills, the Bucs.
We're going to beat them open and weak because they don't have a quarterback.
Okay, let's talk about the quarterback thing. I think, Cam Newton is not who Cam Newton once was. I agree. I 100% agree. But Cam Newton is not as bad as people are making him out to be.
When you say people, who do you mean?
Just like the general Cam is washed, he can't play anymore. I think Cam is going to be a second year off of that injury that he had. And I think that is actually really important because this is like the first summer he was not really rehabbing at all. Mm-hmm. That's going to be important. He's going to have a camp in that system. that he did not have before. He's going to have significantly better receivers around him than he did before. Like, they were so bad Brady left, bruh. I just think that the referendum on Cam should be more of this year and less of last year, considering all the confounding factors, not even including COVID. So just like, I'm not out on Cam Newton yet. I still believe that he has a chance to be great. I still believe they have a chance to scheme for his strengths, especially in the run game. And they have shown that they can do some pretty unique and interesting things that give teams problems. And if Cam is as washed as you say, Mac Jones comes in, and the one thing that everybody's that is sure about is that he can be accurate with the ball. He might not have a lot of the other things, but that's the one thing he has. New England can make that work.
I never said Cam was washed, though. It's not what I said.
I'm not saying you said he is. I'm saying that's the general narrative.
What you said, I don't think Cam's is as washed as you think he is. I don't think he's washed.
Okay.
I just don't think they have a quarterback good enough on an opening weekend to beat a defense like us that will travel. I agree with you towards the end. When they came to Miami, we stomped them out.
That generally happens, though.
That defense was rolling by that time. That's the same defense we're putting on the field, right? Our corners are going to lock their receivers down. We're getting the turnover. If Cam's the starter, Cam going to throw it once to us, too. He will do that.
And Tua might throw it 2 or 3 times. Like, come on.
Really? What game did he have 2 and 3? Really? All right.
Look, I'm not trying to say that the Dolphins are bad. I do think the Patriots will be a better team. I think the Dolphins will end up being the 3rd best team in this division.
Ooh, we should double up on lunch on that. The 3rd?
I mean,
after finishing second last year?
If I had the Patriots with a better record than the Dolphins, and we are about to get to the team that I think is the resounding, maybe you don't think this team is going to be first in the division, but I thought this team was the resounding favorite to be first in the division, the Buffalo Bills. Mm-hmm. Right. And I had the Buffalo Bills going 12-5, possibly 13-4. I mean, look, Josh Allen showed that he can be that guy. We obviously all want to see it again. That's always what everybody wants to see, but he was a monster last year. Mm-hmm. And I think that his receiving core is even better than it was adding Emmanuel Sanders to that team. So now they have Emmanuel Sanders, Stephon Diggs, and Cole Beasley, who is really going to stop that offense. Cole Beasley has been one of the most underrated slot receivers in the league for like 5 years. Look, and we all know what Stephon Diggs did last year, propelled his name into like top receiver in the league. Their defense is not bad, but their defense is not as great as it was in those early Josh Allen years. But look, they have an MVP caliber quarterback. I think we can agree on that. And that is generally what propels a team to the top of a division. I think they'll take L's to the Chiefs, the Titans, the Colts, the Bucks, and the Patriots.
I agree with that. I think they'll win the division because I just think they have the better quarterback right now. I like Josh Allen, 6'5", 235. Last year, I believe 5,100 yards, 37 touchdowns, 10 interceptions. Like you can't fake that in the NFL. Like those are real true numbers. The one thing that bothers me about them is their running game. And I think what I love about football the most is you can only fool and you can only mask things for so long. You can't just continue to not have a running game. This year, teams all offseason, every defensive coordinator on their schedule will pick that offensive tape apart. And they'll say, okay, they don't run the football. And we didn't know that last year. And we let Josh Allen do these things. As the year went on, though, you start to see that production dip. And then they got to the playoff game. And that defense wasn't even great in Kansas City. And we saw like really drop off. And then everybody else blamed the receivers and other things that was going on in the game. And it's like, well, no, you're talking about a team that has a head coach in Andy Reid that can now really scheme for you. And they got 2 weeks to do it because they had to bye. So you guys had to play. So not only did they have the season, they also got to see you in the playoff game last week that the Colts probably should have won.
Josh Allen was a one-man run game in that game. That's how they won that.
Yeah, exactly. Even so, if Phillip Rivers doesn't overthrow the open touchdown pass in the corner on 4th, remember they go for it on 4th?
Yes.
And it's a great play call, and the receiver's wide open, and Phillip just lays it out too much. And then the following drive, they missed like the 43-yard field goal. That was the game right there. That was the game, right? So he would have had one of that monster games still, but it would have came with an L. So everybody would have looked at it, and there would have been different. Like I said, I don't 25th in rushing last year. I just don't like that running game, and they're going to have to fix that or some other teams will figure it out. In some of these games, you got plugged in as a guaranteed win. One of those defenses will show up on the Sunday, and the Bills will think just because they can just show up that the emblem on the helmet will win the game. And we
like
see that in pro sports.
A Steelers or a Washington football team.
My worry with Diggs, and shout out to the DMV, College Park, University of Maryland, my man Stephon Diggs. My only worry with him is he has the feel of a player who will bust his ass and put up crazy numbers to get a new deal. And then once he's got that deal, he may not, because I called Michael Thomas. When he got that deal, I went on my show and I went on Fox Sports Radio. I said, he'll never be the same player. He just has that feel to me. You know what I'm saying?
Diggs already get the major deal?
That guy, but after that year he just had a career year. And I just don't want it to tailor off, because when you get paid, then, you know, sometimes every NFL player don't play as hard after you get paid. But I agree with you. I think they won the division. I like 12-4. I like 12-4. Like I said, I like them in Miami fighting it out. I like 12-5. Excuse me. I like them. They went 12-4 last year. I like them in Miami fighting it out for the year. And I think they just may come out on top because they have, once again, the better quarterback. And I think Josh Allen has the size and the body to make a run or make a play you might need late in the year. Tua's a little smaller. He still put on some weight. Looks great in camp. But Miami's not ready to ascend just yet. I do expect them in the playoffs this year. And if they can avoid the Bills that first week, I like them, because Kansas City will have a bye, right? I like them to match up with anybody else in the AFC. Now, where the game is played is a different, but I like them to make the play. But I think the Bills, you're right about that. Second-rate offense last year, almost 400 a game. So their offense is fine. But I do think if they don't figure out how to run the ball, these defensive coordinators that get paid to do this, they will scheme and they will figure them out.
I'm with you. So that leaves us with the last team here, the Jets, who you have. I mean, honestly, just for like the clips, you could reshare your thoughts about the Jets real quick. Get our YouTube comments crazy hot.
Oh, I'm sorry, God, I fell asleep when you mentioned that team. Yeah, the bum ass Jets. Listen, I'll keep it 100. I like the Corey Davis pickup. I think the defense is young and the defense plays hard. I just don't like their quarterback, and their offensive line would have been so much better if they'd have traded that pick and moved down a little bit and just worked one more year with Sam Darnold and found out a way to get Penei Sewell, or took Sewell over the quarterback, because next year you have DJ coming, you have Howell out of Carolina, you have Spencer Rattler, you have some other quarterbacks coming out of college that I think are going to be better than Zach Wilson. I don't think you had to jump.
Can I interrupt real quick?
Sure.
Look, they didn't jump for Zach Wilson. They thought Zach Wilson was that dude. They took him over Trey Lance. They took him over Justin Fields. Yeah. Like they were positive that Zach Wilson is that guy.
And what I'm saying is I would have like traded with like maybe try to move back with either Dallas, because I know Dallas wanted to get up, or San Francisco. San Francisco did come up. I would have worked one more year with Sam Darnold, and I would have got more at Penei Sewell. It's just not a player. I think Cincinnati's gonna rule the day. They're gonna rule the day that they decide to go with Jamar Chase. And there's stories out of camp. He's having problems doing what? Separated. What do you see on some of the film? Separation. A lot of his catches and highlight catches are going up and jumping and getting the ball. He's not blowing away from people. In the NFL, a corner at Kentucky can cover. A corner from a Saginaw State can make an NFL roster and cover. So they're going to rule it. But the Jets, I think their problem started then. I think they're in a 3 to 4 year rebuild, but I don't like Zach Wilson, man. I just don't think he's the guy. Like I said, Corey Davis, get another bigger receiver there. Running game's okay. Schedule's tough. You're battling the Patriots, the Bills, and the Dolphins in your division already. There's a reason why you had the second overall pick, right? You weren't very good. It's like Jacksonville. These people that are talking about Jacksonville's going to take some type of leap. There's a reason why they had the first pick.
Jacksonville might win like 5 more games than they won last year.
I got him at 5.
Which is like it's a big jump considering you started from 1.
I look at it like this. I always say in sports, if you don't learn from history, just like in life, you'll be doomed to repeat it. When's the last first or second overall quarterback that came in the league as a rookie and doesn't have the story to tell the following years or down the line, like, oh man, my first or second year, it was brutal in the league, man. I got sacked so many, because you're still building your team. It's when you have the first or the second pick, you're not just bad at one position, you're bad at a lot of positions. That's why you're 1-15 or you're 2-4. You're bad at a lot of positions. So a quarterback doesn't save you. It starts the rebuilding, but it doesn't save you. You're gonna turn around. What, Peyton Manning his rookie year with 3-13, right? It was for 4-12, and they had the #1 pick. So they with arguably one of the greatest quarterbacks of all time. They moved 3 games. It's hard as a rookie to come in. So I don't think the Jets are gonna win. I like 5-12.
Okay, I had them in 4-13, so that's a little bit better than me.
I like 5-12. Yeah. I like 5-12. Their defense plays hard.
Okay,
they didn't get blown out of a lot of games last year. Like, right, they had the Raiders dead to rights. They had the Raiders dead to rights in the corner. In the corner, let the receiver run right by him. Rule number 1: don't let anybody behind you with the game on the line. If you're a defensive back, that's defensive back 101. Game on the line. 10 seconds, boy, everybody back. They can catch anything in front of us and just come up and make the tackle. He let him run right by. You went for a double move on 4th down with like 8 seconds to go. There's a W right there. Should have beat the Redskins. Gave that game away. So there's some games they'll win like that this year with more experience. 5-12.
Okay.
I wouldn't be surprised if the Jets won 6 games.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. I had them at 4.
Man.
I had them in like the Jags, the Eagles, the Texans, the Bengals, those teams I feel like they could be really competitive against. But you have them like probably sneaking one here or there, maybe like the Broncos. They can sneak one from like
Where's
week
that
13.
Game?
It's actually at Denver.
Yeah, see, that would still make me say yeah, because that's a game that Denver will look at. Oh, we got the Jets coming in. Especially, who did the Jets play before that?
Oh, before that, they played the Patriots.
All right, so that's a loss.
Yeah.
And the Broncos coming off a loss. Oh yeah, we and that defense will think, same thing, man. Let's try to just keep us in the game. Hey kid, just make a play or two today, man. That Broncos team's not gonna be that good, man. A lot of people no. That's a 500 football team, especially if Locke's the quarterback.
I hope they go with Teddy Bridgewater.
I believe in Teddy B, but it just feels like the league doesn't.
Yeah, I mean, it just seems like Locke is proving all he needs to prove in Denver.
Locke to me, he reminds me of the white kid that wanted to hang with the black kids, but never did, but watched them from afar and like learn all their mannerisms and all their shit so he can do it. And it makes him look urban and our pop culture and cool, right? You talking
about the Jeezy video? Oh my God.
Not just that, some of his touchdown celebrations and stuff. It's like, yeah, bro, you're trying a little too hard. And you seem like, and I grew up with white guys like that played football or played basketball, wanted to hang with us, didn't really, but watched us. And then when they would do something, their mannerisms and shit, you'd be like, oh man, this dude, all right, I feel you want to, you know how they say, man, they want our pleasure, but not our pain. Right? They want our style, our music, our coolness, our swag, our flavor, but you don't want our struggles.
Okay, I'm with you.
Yeah,
look, that about wraps up the AFC East breakdown. Let us know what you think. Who's going to win the division? Do you think the Dolphins have it or the Bills? I mean, you started at 13 wins. You said 12. They might be tied. Are we going to tiebreakers with the Bills and the Dolphins?